I'm gonna attempt to do this with a dog on my lap. I'm going to do what the fashion industry just never does. Make all the trends work for every single body. I personally am not a big trend person, but I know a lot of clients of mine and I know people enjoy trends. I'm here to help that group out. Trends tend to be, I think, quite alienating to most body types because they were made for maybe 8% of body types at one given time. And that gives license to people who don't have that body type to be frustrated and wonder why this trend just looks off or doesn't fit them. So I'm here to change that today. I want to make sure that if you wanted to participate in a trend, you can, and I'm going to show you how. If that's you, stick around. A couple notes before we start, and just keep these things in mind as I go through the list. Number one, you don't need to do every single trend if you're into trends. My advice would be to pick one of your favorites or a few of your favorites, focus in on those, and if you want to make it easier on yourself, pick the ones that are easier for you to accommodate in terms of your body type, your essence, or your coloring. Number two, if any of these trends make you feel bad in any way about yourself, just stop, drop, and roll and get out of here. I don't want you to feel bad about yourself at all. Don't participate in the trend. It's not worth it. Life is way too short. It's just not, it's not it. Number three, if you want to participate in trends or any of these trends, but don't want to go through the, figuring out what your body type is and how to get it to fit, blah, blah, blah. Just use it in accessories and you'll be fine. Number four, and this is the most important tip. I want to be clear that you're actually allowed to wear whatever the hell you want at any given time. If it makes you happy, makes you joyful, go for it. All right, let's dive in. Spring whites. So for this trend, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just the color white. It's great news for our winter beauties. Anyone in the winter palette, go to town, have fun. This is your moment. For the rest of us, you can still participate using your personal or your more well-suited white color. So for someone in the summer palette, go for more like a light gray, almost white, but because it's gray, it's a bit more muted. That's gonna look better, like a slight off-white. For autumn beauties, go for more of an ivory or champagne even white. That's gonna look really nice. For springs, just go all creamy whites, which are more creamy yellowy whites. And they're gonna look, it's not technically white, I get it, but it's a neutral. For this trend, I'll just say that angular people, this was made for you. They look fantastic in trousers, especially when they are stiff material, like that suit style, or just stiffer in general with lots of structure. For really tall, angular people, you want to keep that length, so really do focus in on the high-rise portion of that. And slightly oversized if your stature can usually handle it when you're quite tall. For the shorter, petite, angular ones like myself, go for more tapered and narrow fits. Like those cigarette pant trousers kind of idea, and you want them a little cropped because you're a little petite thing. For my softer, curvier people, I want you to just really focus on the material that you're buying these trousers in. So that's soft materials like silks and softer linens. Anything that moves, that can hug, that's not stiff, is gonna look really beautiful. Even velvet. Spring, summer velvet, maybe not. And that's just gonna look so beautiful on you. Keep that waist emphasis tight. You want it tight because you look really good in waist emphasis if you are hourglass or any of the curvier body types. If you're a short, curvy body type, you want to keep it pretty billowy, not an excess amount, but paper bag trousers is a great idea for both the tall and the short, rounder and more curvy soft people. Polos, or I kind of think of it like preppy style, like you don't need to go so hardcore in the idea of just a polo shirt. I think you can use this in the style essence of polos, which is that classic preppy. So those of you who have a classic body type, my goodness, you are fit and ready for this trend. go to town on it, wear it all the time. Like, the style itself is just perfect for you. You're gonna look effortless, timeless as usual, and it all makes sense. For everybody else, you absolutely can wear this. There's no problem. There's just little things you need to consider when picking the right polo for you. If you're quite rounded and soft, think of it as more like rounder collars or materials that are more huggy or more soft and flowier than a stiffer polo fabric. And for an angular person, you want to keep it quite sharp and stiff. So those collars, like really sharp, maybe some detailing on the collar helps too. And when you're thinking of essences, I think for dramatic, you'd want it like pretty extreme and a little bold. If you're classic, go classic. If you're natural, maybe and have a natural essence or natural body type, you may want to think of like a linen material. That's gonna look really harmonious on you. If you have ingenue essence, like a little girl essence, or cutesy, go for like a pastel color, and in your color season, embrace the little like cute details, maybe a little flower on it. If you have romantic essence, maybe find one that has a knot or a knot at the bottom. Wear a cute tennis skirt with it. Like, keep it sensual, keep it flirty. For ethereal or angelic essence, it might be tough, but what I would suggest is wearing like a really flowy, kind of whimsical skirt with it. It's gonna feel very two different things, but it might look kind of cool. Transparent skirts. Now, this is a bit difficult considering the transparent fabric is quite I would think a very romantic material, a little bit of classic sometimes as well. I believe the key is leaning into your essence on this one and just like keeping in mind the more vital parts of your body type. So for tall, angular, keep it really narrow, maybe slightly oversized but not overly so, and very straight and long, like a maxi skirt would look cool. For naturals, keep it a little bit more unconstructed and flowy. This is gonna just feel like relaxed and cool. For classics, I think this could lend pretty well to it. Keep it like very classic cuts. You probably have seen Grace Kelly wear something like this. For gamines, you want it to be fun and quirky, and this is the essence gamine, not body type gamine. But same things could apply. You want to kind of keep it in smaller frame in a way. And I would have it in a bold color, maybe with some fun patterns on it. Keep it mini if you want. That would look really adorable and just cool on a gamine. That goes for body type and essence in that instance. For ingenue essence, I would keep it kind of frilly, have a little bit more of like cutesy element to it, and more of like a flowy, small. I would keep it small, but keep it a little frilly. For ethereal essence, I think this could, or angelic essence, this could really work well. Keeping it really mystical or whimsical would be really interesting. You could even have something with stars on it, maybe. For romantic essence, I think this lends itself so well. It's pretty flirty, it's pretty sexy, so go to town with that. If you have a softer or curvier body type in any of those essences, just make sure that you have two things. Extreme waist emphasis if you're quite hourglass double curve. If you have broadness and curves, keep it like a light, but you do still want some waist emphasis to it. If you've got petiteness and curvy, just keep it a little more on the midi side, not maxi side, and a little less like extravagant puffiness because it'll be too much. And for any of the angular, like I said, keep it quite narrow and straight and stiff. Discreet, chic 90s look, minimalistic look. So those that look really effortless in minimalistic styles are classics, naturals, dramatics, and this is in terms of body type. For essences, it can be classics and naturals typically, and dramatics can really still hold that same thing, so either way goes. However, I still think it can work for every body type. You just have to do a couple of adjustments to make it look seamless. So like I said, for any angular body type, like a dramatic, keep it long and monochromatic and narrow, not overly so. You could do a little bit of an oversized jacket or some oversized trousers, but with like a tight fitting top would look really cool. But monochromatic is really key to keep that length going, and in that you can do an all one color. It's gonna look so good. If you're shorter, I would break up the lines. So I would, and if you're petite, in the kibbe body system, they look good in broken lines. So flamboyant gamine, a soft gamine, they'll look good in broken lines. And so you have like one color on your top, a different color on your pant, maybe a belt to keep more broken lines, and a jacket of a different color. So then we've got sections in the outfit instead of one seamless outfit. If you've got a softer body type, I would just keep in mind the materials you're using. So things that are softer, hug more, that flow more, that drape more on your body while keeping it minimalistic. And some billowing in the pants would look really nice over curves. Things that are kind of flowier on the shoulders would look really nice. So just think rounded shapes. And of course, as always, get that waist emphasis strong and visible, because that is where your beauty lies. If though you have an essence that's quite ornate, like romantics, angelic, or maybe a little bold and wild like a gamine, I would focus more that in your accessories, like a bold colored bag or jewelry or sunglasses that are kind of funky, or things in your hair and makeup can also help with that, just so that you're still honoring that piece of you, but you're keeping that minimalistic look and you're still within that trend. Chester was tired of talking about trends, so he left the building. The modern flapper. This is such a fun one because I think a lot of body types actually do look good in this if you're doing it right. I think it's just fun. It is a bit more costumey, but some essences, for example, and body types can really pull it off depending on how you approach it. So for angular body types, you look fantastic in this. Like drop waist, yes. Long and narrow and straight, yes. Short and straight, yes. So if you're tall, you go with the long. If you're petite, you go with the short, and you're in good business. You want to keep it very square around your face as an angular, nothing too flowy or too ornate. If you've got classic essence, I mean, I still think you can pull this off because you're classic and you are timeless and you can look good in a lot of different timepieces. I still think this is quite achievable for a curvier, softer body type. What you'll need to do is add a belt, and I realize that's not historically always correct, but who cares? You're honoring your body type, that's more important. Look for details maybe in the shoulder that kind of like honors a little bit of softness, is a little flowier, and even in the body part of it, if you wanted to find ones that kind of go out a little bit and have a little bit more flow and softness, so they'll just sit on top of the curves as opposed to a straight opposite shape. For essences, like I said, if this is your vibe in terms of ornateness, for angelics, for romantics, and sometimes dramatics, depending on what kind of vibe you're going for, and gamines, have fun with this. Go in bold details if you needed to, or lots of jewels and whimsy for angelic and romantic. And if your essence is not ornate, just go with the simpler versions of these silhouettes. For naturals, I think you should just embrace the fringe part of this, because fringe looks good on you. If you can find that in like a suede fringe, that's gonna look so cool on you. Rose details is such an easy one because it can be incorporated in so many ways and it does not always affect the lines or the body shape that you have. I will say that rose, like the rose pattern, is said to be more in harmony with a softer body type because roses are soft and it mimics that in the shape. But I think if you have an essence that leans towards romantic, ingenue, angelic, and you have a very angular body type, you can pull off a rose pattern and look really cool in it. For ingenue, go more small, petite, cutesy roses. For romantic, go luscious and very intense. And then for angelic, just keep it kind of whimsical in a way, as best you can. I think that flowers in general are pretty whimsical, so it's pretty easy to put that in, and I know it seems romantic and those two can cross over, no problem. For dramatics that have a very minimal and sleek style, I would go with something maybe more abstract in this sense, or just one large rose. If you got curves and you're large and you're tall, then a big rose patterns everywhere is gonna look so good on you. I think for naturals, it would be really cool to have this in a crochet type of, or knit, something earthy maybe, or even if you pull in earthy colors, if that's in your color season, that's gonna look really nice. Short shorts. It's a toughie, and I'll say the reason for that is not everybody feels comfortable wearing this type of outfit. And even though they could look really good in it, it's up to the comfort element, the confidence element. But I will say, I think everyone can pull it off with the right modifications. For angular body types, you want to keep it straight and very sharp. So suit-like pants, shorts would look really good. Anything stiff and maybe some slight pleats, but anything very like almost like a triangle is what you're making in that outfit. And high-waisted is gonna look really good on a tall frame. Same thing with like a petite angular person, just because it honors a little bit of that, but I feel like most of them can pull it off. If you are quite petite, a short torso, look for something maybe mid-rise, because I find with myself that high-rise on a tall or maybe a moderate person is like way too high rise on me. It goes above and beyond where we need it to be. And I go for mid-rise, because mid-rise on me is high rise. Just a quick tip. If you've got curves, try to keep it more like that paper bag idea, or maybe have something with like frills on it, softer materials like silks, or very soft linen and cotton, anything that moves, chiffons, you know, anything that has some, that'll hug the curves and not feel stiff on top of soft. For your essences, you can pull this in for ingenue or romantic, maybe frills. Keep them small for ingenue and keep it pretty luscious with romantic, or even in the print, you can keep it quite sensual. And for angelic essence, you can think of it in prints and less in the shapes. I would think something with lace in it would be cool. That goes with romantics as well, but you can keep it with any of prints that are quite angelic, like stars, moons. For dramatics, I do think, yeah, keep it to the short suit style, and that goes for the body type and the essence. Classics, keep it classic. Keep it like you're going on a boat ride and you got your boat shoes on, you got those little short shorts that are ready to sail. That's what you want. Metallics. Now this is a pretty easy one, because we all have a jewelry metallic that looks great on us, and I would just focus on that. But I do think that certain essences, body types look really good with ornate metallic everywhere, and others look overwhelmed. I'll say it, if I wore a bedazzled metallic outfit, you wouldn't see me anymore. It would overwhelm me. It wouldn't be good. Naturals look a little really quite off on that, because it's such an opposite look to where they're going. So romantics, dramatics, and angelic, and maybe a little bit of gamine would look really cool, and this is for essences. They'll look really cool in bold or romantic, sensual, metallic looks, or anything that's kind of whimsical is gonna look really good in those essences. But for those who are classics and who are naturals, maybe even ingenue, it's a little too much. Sometimes gamine too for essences, so I would put that in your accessories like jewelry and keep it small and dainty for ingenue, and keep it very classic for classics, and they can have it in their bags or their shoes, like little buckles on their belts, on their bags, on their shoes, so on. I think with naturals, the way to use the metallics is keep them earthy metallics, I would think. Keep it grounded, put it in details in a bag or mixed in with really natural elements like leather. For springs and for autumns, keep it gold, warmer metallics. For summers and for winters, you want to keep it silver and keep that really cool toned icy. For the neutral gang that sits in any of those groupings, just ensure that it's nothing too intense. You can do both. For most neutrals, can do silver and gold, but I would stick to the more neutral ones like rose gold, some coppers sometimes, or some brass, I should say. Experiment with that. Lastly, craft pieces, which I thought was so fun, and what's great about this trend is it's not geared towards a body type, it's geared towards an essence, which is much easier to incorporate into your outfit. So for dramatics, just go bold, go fun, but don't go too eccentric, because that is for the gamines and they can do really eccentric, kind of cheeky styles in that. For naturals, keep it natural. Keep it in with your crochet elements, macrame, with your leather and your furs, fake fur. For classics, I would stick to some really classic elements that feel almost homemade, which is like wicker bags, wicker hats, those shoes, I'll show a picture, but those shoes that are woven, those are really cool elements, and I think that lends itself to that craft style, because it could be someone that wove it themselves. You could even do like a knitted bag and then the rest of the outfit with a striped shirt or something. That keeps it classic. For ingenue, I would keep it little pom-poms, maybe on your bag or on your shirt, or something knitted but with cute little flowers on it. Anything that feels crafted, homemade, but in a cutesier little girl vibe definitely will look adorable on you. For romantics, I think you should stick to jewelry for this, because jewelry can be homemade and keep it very sensual. I think that's gonna look really cool. For angelic and ethereal essence, this is so fun for you because you can go a little bit more mystical, maybe whimsical, with accessories that look a bit more crafted or homemade. You can put stars and celestial stuff on your accessories, on your outfits to bring that in. And so yeah, I think there's something for everyone in this trend, easily. That's it, and I hope that you were able to find a way to make your body, your essence, your coloring work for one of these trends, or none of these trends. If nothing spoke to you, just don't do it. It's up to you. The choice is yours. Have fun with it. Leave comments below if you have any questions on any of this. Have a great day.